We back. Let's go. Players, coaches, fans, young and old from across the globe, welcome to the semi-finals slash finals bowl recap preview show. Nailed it. Of the Bigs. As always, I'm your host. I'm your commissioner. I am Timmy Westside, and it is always my goddamn honor to be here with you all, recapping and previewing the greatest league in the world. "22 weeks later, we have reached the mountaintop. It all comes down to this. While we will touch on the games that were, half the teams aren't even playing anymore that were in those games. So while we will touch on the games that were, we will also preview the two biggest games to come of the season. We're here. We did it. Exciting, nerve-wracking, frightening. Everything that the Bigs is meant to be. It all comes down to week 23. The final matchup and the Quidgy Bowl matchup. No time to waste. Here we talk about winners. And there's been two winners throughout the entire season that have earned their way into the championship game. I'm talking about the Rubber Puckies, who will take on the Comeback Kid in the finals. Quickly touch on the Rubber Puckies because they played last week. The Comeback Kid has been waiting in the wings. Rubber Puckies. Not much to say about them. Highest scoring team in the league all season. Semifinals left no doubt. These are the two best teams offensively in the league this entire season. I always say the luck, for the most part, evens out in the wash, unless it's me, because I'm just super unlucky. But when you are the two highest scoring teams in the league, after all is said and done, this is where you should be. Rubber Puckies takes care of business over the Breakfast Club. We'll talk about them in a bit. 214.9 to 171.2. Enters on a 3-game winning streak. To get to this game, if you don't get a bye, you need a 2-game winning streak. Check and check. He takes care of business over the Burt Macklin squad, and now against the Breakfast Club to take on Christoph. Two best teams, their record, as Chris mentioned, 2-2 throughout the year. And in each of those 4 games, each team put up 200 points or more. So 8 times. 4 matchup, 2 teams. 8 times these teams pumped out 200 points. Had a couple getting pugs in there. It's how it should be. Evenly matched. That's one thing I wrote down when looking at this game to come. A couple big notables. They each have 2 New Jersey Devils. Off the top of my head, I know it's Hughes. I know that's one. That's only 1 out of 4. But they each have 2 New Jersey Devils. Tampa Bay Lightning in this matchup. There are 5 of them. 2 for Christoph, 3 for Kenny, and of course we must talk about the 3 Edmonton Oilers. We got Bouchard and Draisaitl for Christoph, and the bell of the ball McDaddy for Ken Dog. Right now, Draisaitl and McDavid are day to day, but you got to think they only play on Tuesday. You got to think they know that it's the finals, that it's these 2 dogs going up head to head. You got to think that they're not missing one single shift. Rubber Puckies ends the year. Oh shoot, I didn't write down your record. 15-7 maybe. Anyways, Rubber Puckies, the comeback kid. One of them's going for their third title. One of them is looking to hoist the Apollo 420 for the first time. We'll see what happens. Before I talk about the Bull, quick little tic taps. As I mentioned, the Breakfast Club, well done. House money. Listen, this was over early. It was done by the end of day on Tuesday. You fought your way to get in, to get that big gut you win last week against the Borland Backhanders. You had to think, and it proved to be true. If you didn't get off to a hot start this week, your team was just going to be like, I'm done. I gave you everything I got. And that's exactly what happened. Overpowered. A slow start was the nail in the coffin. But hey, you got to be happy with a team that was battling to the end to get out of the bowl. You're sitting on a beach. You got one playoff win under your belt. You end the season 7-15. Well done. Enjoy the off season. The Breakfast Club. Flipping over before we get into the bowl. Who's facing Timmy Westside? Stick taps again because it is not the Burt Macklin squad. Comeback win over the Borland Backhanders. 233.4 points, takes down the Borland Backhanders, who had 194.7. I was going to text you guys on Wednesday morning. I was like, do I just do the recap now? Like, Lair Bear was getting blown out. Jake was down by 40 points after Wednesday. So I was like, guys, I could do this right now. We know who's going to be playing where and who's going to be taken off next week. Sonk, Jacoby, biggest of spots, said, hold your horses. I don't want that pressure. No earthquakes, no tremors. Break that Richter scale. Comes back from 40 points with authority. 233.4 points was Jake's fourth highest total of his season. And the biggest of spots, needed it. Comeback. No earthquakes recorded. He ends the season 9-13. Very respectable for someone who had a mid-season crisis, saying, I'm done with the league. Says, I'm done with the league, but if he had an extra assist last week to take down Kendog, he'd be in the finals. Hope that's a lesson for you, Jacoby. Never give up. You didn't give up this week. You were going to give up halfway through the year, and you were 2 points out of the finals. Don't give up. Never give up. Enjoy the beach. Tic taps, Jacoby. Happy trails for those two. And with that being said, we get to the bowl. We got Kendog, we got Christoph going toe-to-toe in the finals. We got Laurent Pierre and Jacoby hitting the beach, rubbing each other up with suntan lotion. And then we got the cousin combo, Quidgy Bowl. I'm not surprised I'm in it. Was tracking there since week 1. Borland Backhanders, after a 13-9 season now, they find themselves in the bowl. Thought they had their ticket punched to Bora Bora with Laurent Pierre, but Jacoby said, nah, you still got work to do. And I've said it all along. Mentioned it off the top with Kendog. Luck evens itself out, unless you're Tim. second lowest points total against for Shawner. You got to think at some point that luck is going to turn, and it came in the worst of times against Jacoby. After winning 3 straight to punch his ticket into the playoffs, Shawner has now lost 3 straight and finds himself in the bowl. Lucky for you, you're 3-1 against Timmy Westside this season. Do it to me, cuz. Couple key matchups this week. Washington, Logan Thompson, in between the pipes, taking on the Winnipeg Jets, Connor Hellebuyck. On Friday, we got a little bit of friendly fire. Your two tendies, Connor Hellebuyck, Markstrom, going up against each other. Is that a win for Timmy Westside? It's a guaranteed loss for Connor, but it's a guaranteed win. If that game goes into OT, I'm just it was written in the stars. And lastly, on Saturday in Toronto, I think it's in Toronto, we got the LA Kings, Darcy Kemper, taking on Wonderwall, Connor's goalie. 3 big games. For Timmy Westside to have a chance, I need to win both those matchups. I need LA to upset Toronto, and I need Washington to minorly upset the Winnipeg Jets. And that game on Friday between your two goalies cannot go into overtime. I need those -2 points real badly. No shutouts, please. The Cousin Bowl, don't like it. Don't like my chances. Heading into this Q Bowl, I am 2-0. This is back-to-back years that I'm in the bowl. Something, management's under fire. Big time. But I'm 2-0 in the bowl. Hopefully, 3rd time's not the charm. And Shawner, as you mentioned, the Borland Backenders have not been to the Q Bowl in 9 years. I believe it was their only Q Bowl loss, I believe. So, see what happens. Does Shawner go from worst to first? Does he hand Timmy Westside his first Quidgy Bowl crown? Jesus, the tongue twisters with Quidgy Bowls. We'll see what happens. One last time. To everyone who's left, good luck. Boop.